How does your net worth stack up against the average Canadian? And are you richer than the people in your age group? In this video, I do a deep dive into net worth data, and stick around till the end because I'm going to show you how to use this data to improve your finances. Canadian household net worth has steadily increased from 2020 to 24, rising from around $762,000 to over $1 million by 2022, driven mostly by real estate and financial market gains. A slight dip in 2023 brought net worth down to about $979,000, likely due to inflation and post-pandemic spending, but it recovered to over $1 million by 2024. But this average data alone doesn't tell us that much information. Let's break this down deeper to understand the full picture. Real estate's role in Canadian net worth. It's no surprise that real estate plays a huge role in Canadian wealth, making up over 50% of household net worth during this period, peaking at nearly 56% in 2022. This shows just how much Canadians rely on property to build and store wealth. The numbers tell a clear story. Real estate drove much of the net worth increase from $762,000 in 2020 to over $1 million in 2024, despite liabilities creeping up. But here's the catch. Such heavy reliance on real estate means that any downturn in the housing market could hit households hard, quickly wiping out a large chunk of net worth. So here's a pro tip. While real estate might feel like it's always a safe bet, it's important to diversify your portfolio. Relying too heavily on one asset class can heavily increase your risk, especially in a volatile market. Try spreading your investments across real estate, stocks, bonds, and other assets to protect yourself from potential downturns. Homeowners versus renters, a wealth gap that keeps growing. This data shocked me the most when I saw the numbers. The data reveals a striking wealth gap between homeowners and renters. In 2024, homeowners had an average net worth of $1.38 million, nearly 5 times higher than renters, who averaged $274,000. I was shocked because I knew that there would be some difference, but I didn't think it would be over $1 million worth of difference. Both groups experienced steady growth in net worth from 2020 to 24, with homeowners seeing a 33% increase and renters growing by about 31%. The key driver behind this disparity is real estate appreciation, which significantly boosts the net worth of homeowners. Renters with little exposure to real estate primarily rely on financial assets for wealth building. Now let's take a look at what you probably are most interested in, which is average net worth by age group. Net worth evolves through different stages of life, reflecting the financial journey most people experience. Here's a look at how net worth progresses by age group in Canada, from 2020 to 2024. Let's go over the first age group, which is less than 35 years of age. In your early career, net worth is lower as you're building assets and managing debt. Canadians under 35 saw their net worth grow from $231,000 in 2020 to $338,000 in 2024. Though financial volatility is common due to things like student loans and early career challenges. Building up, the second stage, 35 to 44 years. As you hit your 30s and 40s, net worth grows. By 2024, the average net worth for this group reached $658,000, up from $490,000 in 2020. This is a key stage for investing in things like real estate and retirement savings. 45 to 54 and the 55 to 64 year age group. Net worth peaks in these two age groups. In 2024, those aged 45 to 54 had $1.35 million in net worth, and 55 to 64-year-olds reached $1.6 million, driven a lot by real estate and retirement growth. This is the strongest wealth accumulation phase. The decumulation phase, or 65 years and older. Net worth plateaus or grows modestly in retirement. For those over 65, net worth rose from $863,000 in 2020 to $1.12 million in 2024 as people begin drawing down assets. But it does drop from the previous age groups, which means people are drawing down those assets for retirement. Next up, let's look at net worth by household type. When comparing one-person and multi-person households, a wealth gap is clear, but some interesting trends emerge. By 2024, multi-person households have nearly double the net worth of one-person households, $1.17 million versus $634,000. This difference is mainly due to multi-person households having larger total assets, $1.4 million versus $704,000. And that usually makes sense because you have two income providers plus you could split expenses with your partner. However, it's not all doom and gloom for one-person households. One-person households are closing the gap in terms of growth. From 2020 to 2024, their net worth increased by 40%, compared to just 29.4% for multi-person households. Despite starting with less, their faster growth shows progress. Real estate again plays a major role for both groups, making up 55% of net worth for multi-person households and 45% for one-person households. This suggests that multi-person households might be more able to afford property, while one-person households might be getting priced out of this insane Canadian housing market. The top 1% net worth in Canada. According to a 2021 report from the PBO, the threshold for being in the top 1% of net worth in Canada is having assets of at least $6.3 million. This group includes around 160,000 families in Canada. This report also highlights how wealth is increasingly concentrated among this small percentage of families, with the top 1% holding nearly 24.8% of the total net wealth in the country. I dive deeper into what it really takes to join the top 1% in Canada in another video on this channel, so check that out if you're curious for more insights. Median versus average net worth. If you're looking at these net worth numbers and feel far behind, don't worry. The difference between median and average net worth might explain why. The median is a better measure because it's the middle point. Half of households have more and half have less, while the average is skewed by the ultra wealthy. For instance, in 2019, the median net worth for multi-person households was $514,000, but the average in 2020 was $907,000. This average number is greatly distorted by people like Jim Pattison with his net worth of $9 billion. While Statistics Canada has stopped reporting median net worth after 2019, you can roughly estimate that the typical household's net worth is likely around 50% lower than the average today. And this will give you a more realistic and accurate picture of your financial standings compared to other Canadians. So use the median as a benchmark because it gives a much clearer picture of the financial reality for most Canadians. Well, it makes perfect sense that if you earn more money, your net worth should be higher, right? The net worth data by income level shows exactly that. But there are some encouraging takeaways too for those in the lower income brackets. In 2024, the top 20% income earners has a staggering net worth of over $2.29 million, more than 6 times the bottom 20%, who are sitting at $375,000. The top group gained almost $460,000 in just 4 years, widening the wealth gap even further. But here's where it gets interesting. Middle-income households, those in the 41 to 80% group, saw the fastest percentage growth. They've been quietly building wealth, benefiting from rising real estate and investments. It shows that you don't have to be in the top 20% income earners to really grow your net worth. Lower income households saw modest gains of $123,000 over the same period, but they're still struggling a bit to catch up, reflecting the challenges in accessing high growth opportunities. While the top 20% still dominates, middle income households are making steady progress, proving that smart investing and asset accumulation are key to closing the gap. Comparing net worth internationally. Here's a table with some net worths from around the world, as reported by UBS Global Wealth Databook. While this data gives an interesting snapshot of Canada's global standing, note that the data is in US dollars, plus they also use different reporting standards, so it's not going to match the Canadian dollar figures we discussed earlier. Still, it offers valuable perspective on how rich we are as a nation compared to others. Some interesting takeaways that I saw is that Canada's average net worth sits between the UK and the US. However, Switzerland stands out with an average net worth of $685,000 US, 85% higher than Canada's. The US average is also 49% higher than Canada's, which is higher than I expected. I thought it'd be probably about 20 or 30%, but it's almost 50%. On the flip side, countries like Germany and China had much lower averages than I thought. Germany's average is 31% lower than Canada's, and China's average is almost 80% lower. This really highlights how differently wealth is distributed around the world. But I was perhaps most surprised to see how much higher Australia's net worth was than Canada. Australians have a median net worth 80% higher than Canadians, and an average net worth 34% higher. Though these numbers are also likely propped up by their massive housing bubble as well. How to use net worth data to increase your own. Net worth data is much more than just numbers. It's a tool to set realistic goals and build wealth strategically. Here's how. Number one is to set realistic goals. Use net worth data to see where you stand and set achievable targets. For example, if the average for your age group is $400,000, aim to gradually surpass that benchmark with specific goals. The second way is to prioritize investing. Wealthy households grow their net worth through investing, not just by earning. Evaluate your assets. Are you investing enough? Number three is to optimize your financial assets. Focus on optimizing your financial assets, vehicles like the RSP, TFSA, and other investment vehicles. These are key drivers of long-term wealth accumulation, especially for Canadians. Next is to leverage real estate. Real estate plays a huge role in wealth building in Canada, as noted in how over 50% of the average Canadian's wealth comes from real estate. If ownership is a goal, work towards it, or consider how you can leverage property you already own. Benchmark and track progress. Use top earners strategies like minimizing debt and diversifying investments to guide your financial plan. Regularly track and adjust your strategy to stay on course. Remember though, comparison is the thief of joy. Focus on your unique financial journey and celebrate your progress rather than comparing yourself to others. I used to think comparing myself to others was motivating, but it just stressed me out. Now I just focus on my own goals, and it's made all the difference. Building your net worth isn't just about earning more, it's about having the proper strategy. At Blueprint, we've helped many of our clients build and safeguard their net worth. For personalized guidance, visit our website and see how we can help you grow and protect your wealth. And don't forget to subscribe for more tips.